Manchester United are having their worst season to date, and famously said by manager Ruben Amorim, this is the worst Manchester United team in the history of the club. That's not something you want to be hearing from a brand new manager, but as we sit down in 13th place and off the field things are going horribly wrong, he can't be far wrong. We're looking to potentially sell star wonder kid Alejandro Garnacho and face of the club Marcus Rashford, so the team is in dire need of a rebuild from top to bottom. Today, we're using full realism Amorim tactics, developing them as we get better as a side, and looking to see if we can turn the financial mess of Manchester United around with realistic signings, realistic transfers, turning Manchester United into the best team in the world. Now, today's rebuild is going to be a little bit different, as I want to go in depth, I want to get tactical, and I want to get realistic with you guys. So it's going to be a bit more of a sit down and chill rebuild as we look to take this current Manchester United side to the top of the Premier League once again. Now, we are using a realistic results database. We are starting 13th in the Premier League with United, and if you want to get yourself your hands on this, it is literally on FM Scout by Mark Dolgio 94, and it is absolutely fantastic. As you can see, the Premier League table is exact, so if you're a Forest fan, you want to start yourself a Forest rebuild, go ahead and do it. Me for United, I'm worried. We've got a long season ahead. And there we are then, Kempi XI in charge of Manchester United. How on earth is this going to go? Not very well, I don't think. We are going to be looking to use Amorim's realistic tactics, but it's not going to look anything like this, that's for sure. Casemiro, Garnacho and Rashford, Luke Shaw, I mean, all of them pretty much going to be out the door. Nice to see Diego Leon is joining, which is good to see. I want to do a bit more of a sit-down approach, much more of a realistic approach, and just going in depth tactically and transfers-wise. And if you do enjoy that, make sure to smash a like on the video and let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do this with any other club, starting with the realistic results. It could be Forest, should I have the challenge of trying to win the Premier League. Let me know in the comments down below if you've got any ideas like that. So first up, of course, we are in the middle of January, as we are in real life, but we are on the 15th of Jan, which means we are a little bit lucky in the fact that we have got Southampton and Brighton still left to play, and hopefully we can turn things around against them too. Now it's time to look at the squads, and there is someone which we need to look to try and sell. Alejandro Garnacho, as of today, the 21st of January, it is looking more and more likely that Garnacho will be leaving to either Chelsea or Napoli. So I'm going to look into transfer list him and see if we can get any money for him. 37 million. I mean, that's a little bit low. I'd like to try and get a little bit more than that. But the good thing is we have got lots of money in the club, 80 million. So we are going to be going not mental with the transfers. We're going to go full realistic. I'm going to try and bring in a couple of players that I want to see join Manchester United, which are realistic. And you guys can let me know how wrong I potentially am. Let's transfer list and vote and see if we can get some money for him. And of course, the other one is Marcus Rashford, wherever he may be. There he is. Look, 4 goals in 6 games. Sad sight to see, but also looking like he's going to leave Manchester United. We'll hire intermediaries. We'll take the 60 million. Goodbye, Rashford. I mean, I can't believe I'm doing a United rebuild where it's realistic and I'm probably getting rid of 2 of my favourite players. Garnacho and Rashford probably both out the door. And then when it comes to tactics, I have actually already made a Amorim realistic tactic for how we've been playing recently, and this will be available for you guys to download on the Patreon. We'll get into that in a little bit. I will go through the tactics and why I think this is how we play in real life. Now, we sort this by the best 11 and get Amad Diallo in, because we're going to need to train him as that right attacking midfielder. Of course, Onana in goal, De Ligt, Maguire, Martinez is the back 3. If he's fit, Luke Shaw left wing back, great. Mazraoui right wing back, great. Casemiro, no thank you. It's going to be Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo in the midfield as a dual pivot with Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, and I mean, it's hard to argue with Joshua Zirkzee up front. Rasmus Højlund as well, not quite performing at the moment, potentially looking to bring a striker in the summer, not in January. For this January transfer window, we are going full realism. I'm only doing what I think we'll do in real life, and that is how I think Manchester United set up in real life. I will click through all the different player instructions. I have got tackle harder on the left centre back and right centre back, just because they are a bit more aggressive. Putting trigger press on them, which we do seem to do in real life, is chaotic, and I wouldn't recommend it. Hopefully we can do something like that on FM25. Middle centre back Harry Maguire also on tackle harder. Right wing back, we just got to stay wider, and the same for the left wing back. We're going to look to progress these tactics as we go forward in the rebuild and get more to what he was playing at Sporting, which I think will look something a bit more like like this with the wing backs going forward, the striker no longer being a deep lying forward, and the cams also getting involved, potentially on support, just one of them anyway, to get a bit more link up play from Bruno. But this is our current style of play. We're a lot more compact, we're a lot more deep, and it's very difficult for us to actually make chances. So as I said, I'm doing this in full realism. I could just plug in the best Amorim tactic possible and go in the league instantly, but that's not going to be any fun. So Amad Diallo, I've got to move into the channel so he does get out wide like he does, close down more because he's very aggressive, tackle harder, and mark specific position, which will be the left back on the right-sided cam role. And for the left cam, I've got Bruno taking more risks, roaming and marking the right back. Now, obviously, this means that we sort of do drop into a bit more of this system. And when we're defensively, we often sit a bit further back, so the wing backs will drop back a bit. And as the full backs push forward, Xerxes will run around like an absolute madman, and this is how we'll sit in the game. But going forward, we should be much more aggressive, and with quite a decent front three with Xerxes linking up the play. And the wing backs do still get forward. They'll sit sort of just above the defensive midfielders, but they're not as aggressive as we would like to see them. As mentioned, hopefully we can go into a system later on in the rebuild. We've got attacking wing backs, potentially one that we're signing in January, and of course a striker as well, which is a bit more of a bagsman, or potentially just Rasmus Højlund developing into that man. I think we all know he can be. At just 20 years of age, there's so much room for growth. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to see what happens. I'm potentially going to loan him next season and bring in a striker, but we shall see. We'll see what happens there. But first of all, January transfer window, I think the most important thing is to get rid of Garnacho and Rashford, see what money we've got, and then go after our targets. Now, target number one for me is Patrick Dorgu. This guy is heavily linked in real life, and I think it's a signing which potentially by the time this video comes out will have been made already. He's an attacking left wing back. I think whoever we get in this position is going to be very similar. Whether it's a Ryan Aït-Nouri, an Anthony Robinson, a Milos Kerkez, or a Patrick Dorgu, they're all decent defensively, but mainly they are attacking wing backs, and this is the guy I want in left wing back. I think it's the most realistic. Price-wise as well, we're not too far off what we're actually being quoted in real life. And I just want to get this deal done to kick off this rebuild, to be honest. So I will pay over the odds, as we'll end up doing in real life, of course, because we are Manchester United and we are the worst negotiators in the history of the world. We'll offer £42.5 million plus an extra 2.5%, 30%. 49 mil gets Dorgu done, but that right there is a massive improvement to this side, and it will help so much to have a left back that actually is fit and is left-footed. In terms of the captain, Bruno Fernandes does stay as my captain. My vice-captain, I think, is only right at the moment to be Harry Maguire. Massive improvement for him recently, so he's going to join us in the vice-captain role. Another player that has at the club as well is Anthony. He's gone to Real Betis, only on loan, but I think he'll eventually end up going for free on the, well, not potentially for free in the summer. Let's be honest, it could be an awful loan move and we just cut our ties with him. So I'll take whatever we can get for him for now financially. I don't think Casemiro will leave in January. I think there's been a lot of talk of him going to Saudi. I don't think it happens in January. I think we keep hold of him till the summer. I think it's too big of a job to bring in a potential new attacker, a new left back, and a new DM. I think is a bit crazy. So I think we're going to stick just to two for now. And I do think we do bring in, hopefully, Patrick Dorgu. And well, there we go. First off, if Rashford is in, Real Madrid, 61 million, absolutely fine. I don't know where Rashford's going to end up. There's talk of Dortmund. There's talk of Barcelona. Real Madrid do not need him at all, but on FM, it's absolutely fine. Obviously, in terms of the realism, we're doing it as much as we can by sort of selling players when I think they're going to be sold, but I can't help it too much if someone like Real Madrid comes in for him. Anthony, loan offer, Leipzig or Dortmund, absolutely fine. Also, pretty realistic. And well, the first game was a raging success. A 4-1 victory. Rasmus, Shaw, Dalot and Bruno Fernandes all get on the score sheet in a convincing 4-1 win. And stats-wise, we were absolutely dominant as well, which is exactly what we want to see. And here in terms of the goal highlights, we'll see how we ended up scoring our goals. So Dalot down the right-hand side of a pretty simple cross into Højlund for 1-0. We grabbed the second from a set piece as Bruno whipped it in and Luke Shaw won the header. United scoring from a set piece. Christ, something must be going wrong. Rasmus there with nice hold-up play, finding Bruno Fernandes and again attacking down the width with Diogo Dalot cutting in and scoring on that left foot, cutting in from right wing back for Dalot. It'll be good to see him over there again one day rather than playing left wing back, and Bruno Fernandes from the spot. So 4 very convincing goals in a 4-1 victory. Very, very good to see. We have now got an offer as well for Alejandro Garnacho, 42 million going to Real San Sebastian. It is a loan deal, which I would accept for now. I think it's going to be hard to sell him in the January transfer window on FM. So I will accept that money because we don't actually need all of the money that we're going to get for him like we do in real life. I mean, finances wise, we know United are absolutely mudded on the game. We're absolutely mudded as well. £800 million in debt effectively. It is a baffling situation here at United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, and we just have no money. Selling Marcus Rashford for 56 million, going towards PSR, very helpful. It's actually really sad. I'm a massive Rashford fan. I've brought every single kit of United with Rashford on the back since I've got his number 39 top downstairs, because I absolutely love him. But it's done, isn't it? We're not seeing Rashford in the United kit no more. So sadly, we've had to go ahead and sell him. We have got the Dorgu thing all agreed. That's on the 23rd. That'll be coming through. Now for my sort of left cam signing. Now that Rashford is gone, there is a player which I think we can go and get in real life. And I'm a huge fan of him. I think Matheus Cunha in this left attacking midfield role. There's issues of him at Wolves in his contract. It would, of course, been a very expensive one, as we can see here on FM, between 80 and 100 million. I don't think it'll be anywhere near that in real life. I think if we sold Garnacho for 60, I think we can go get Cunha for 60, to be honest. I'm happily going to overspend on FM just to get the realistic transfer done. I can only be as realistic as I can. Of course, with finances, we're not going to spend £108 million on Matheus Cunha. But to get the signing over the line is what I care more about. Getting him in at that left cam role is absolutely perfect. In my opinion, this is the signing which makes so much sense. And I'll go through tactically as well why I think it makes sense. And well, quite happily, we actually lost to Brighton as well, 2-0. So we're actually exactly where we want to be in terms of points. Beating Southampton, losing to Brighton, we are now exactly where we need to be, which is pretty damn good. Anthony is at the door and he's joined Borussia Dortmund on loan. So good to see that he's gone. And there we go then. What a day this would be for United to sign Matheus Cunha and Patrick Dorgu on the same day. They are my two signings that I wanted to see. And now I can show you exactly how tactically just them two signings completely changed this United side. The team might not look so different just bringing in a left-sided cam in Cunha and Dorgu in left wing-back. But what it does give us is freedom to be able to rotate with Bruno Fernandes, Kobbie Mainoo and Amad Diallo. Now, the three of them are massively influential players, and there is a tactic where all three of them get in. It's the attacking one. Amad Diallo simply comes in to this right wing back role as an attacking right wing back, and we know he has been fantastic there. And for Amorim, he has got his best results with Amad in that position. We also know, though, he has been brilliant in that right attack midfield role, where he can equally play, and Bruno Fernandes can go into the midfield, which gives Mainoo a night off, and Diallo can play in the right wing back role. Again, Bruno can play in that deeper playmaking position, especially in this Amorim system where Agate is going to run like an absolute madman. Bruno can effectively create from deep when he's now got attacking wing-back like Dorgu on the left-hand side of him, rather than Diallo, who isn't the greatest ball player, well, crossing wing-back. We now have Dorgu, who is very good at that, and it makes a massive difference in there. The front three is then, of course, Diallo, Cunha, and Højlund, which is massively improved. Or we could go for a mix of the two systems. We can have full emphasis on Diallo just bombing down this right wing-back role as a complete wing-back on attack. Dorgu as a wing-back on support, not looking to get forward so much, but Cunha making up on that attacking influence as an attacking midfielder on attack, and Bruno as a support player. So it just gives us massive fluidity in bringing in them two signings, especially the one of Matheus Cunha, someone that can easily sit in that left cam role and be an absolute diamond. Now, the worry with Cunha is his form at other clubs. His form at Leipzig wasn't great. His form at Hertha was pretty good. And then his form at Atletico Madrid wasn't great, which is why he eventually got loaned out to Wolves and is now a full-time Wolves player. But I think it's obvious he is a very talented player. And at Wolves, he has been fantastic. He has been brilliant this season. Obviously, they have been awful, but he has been a massive standout player. And I think anyone who's looking past Cunha isn't looking at what he could bring to this Amorim system. Look at the former Amorim cams, the Pedro Goncalveses. He is an exact player like that. He can get in between the lines, great dribbling, great flair, unbelievable finishing ability, good physical stats as well, great technique. He's aggressive, which means our press will be good. I think it's the perfect signing. And for Dorgu as well, he's very, very young. There's a lot of room for him to improve in. Defensively, FM shows exactly why. He's not amazing defensively, but going forward, he's very, very good and he's very, very quick. And he's a big lad as well, being 6 foot. So them two are my realistic signings this January transfer window, with, of course, the outgoings being pretty tragic in Anthony, Rashford, and hopefully soon as well. I mean, I say hopefully in FM terms, Alejandro Garnacho going on loan to Real San Sebastian. Now, we have got money on FM to go and make more signings. That's not the case in real life at all. This is the Manchester United team going into the second half of the season. And I'm very excited to see what we can do. And Garnacho is now gone to Real San Sebastian Sebastian with a potential agreement of £42 million if he impresses them. So he is sadly out of the door as well. The only other player that I have got listed to potentially leave is Tyrell Malacia. I've put him up on the loan list and I hope he goes out and has a good little spell. I have set the team up majoritarily to play like this with Amad Diallo and Dorgu now getting forward. Cunha and Højlund also getting forward. Bruno dropping in and creating chances with Agate, Mainu, Martinez, Maguire, De Ligt and Andre Onana. That is pretty much me for the January transfer window. We are now going to play through the system and we'll do that off camera and give you guys the highlights at the end. And hopefully we can have a decent year. I'm looking to potentially just win the Europa League, potentially the FA Cup. We'll see about that. And the Premier League wise, I don't even know what I'm looking for, to be honest. This United team is so finished. It could be top 7. It could not be. We'll see how things go. Now, things in the Premier League have gone about as I expected. As we look to learn the 3 systems, we struggled. In February, 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses, including losses to Fulham, Spurs and Everton. But that is where we started to turn our form around. A 1-1 draw against Arsenal, a 2-1 win against Leicester, and a nearly unbeaten April, including a 2-0 victory over Manchester City, a 3-0 against Wolves, and no goals conceded until that game against Bournemouth. We lose 3-1, and to finish off the season, a 3-2 victory over Brentford, a 1-1 against West Ham United, and a 3-2 against Chelsea. Now, someone that has impressed massively for me in this second half of the Premier League season has been Rasmus Højlund. He's a striker who I think has potential at Manchester United to go to the very top and be our star striker. But as I said in the January transfer window, I think we need someone to come in and be that star striker and Rasmus to be our backup. Rasmus is 21 years of age. Sometimes you don't see strikers hit their full potential until 23, 24. Not everyone is an Erling Haaland who's an absolute freak at 18 years of age and goes and scores 70 goals. I think it's absolutely fine for us to bring in someone like a Dusan Vlahovic, a Victor Osimhen from Napoli, someone to come in and be the striker, while Højlund is our last 30 minutes, our striker to come on with electric pace and finishing ability to dominate teams. I'm looking to do that in the summer and bring in the dual threat. He's shown in the second half of this season he is able to play in this system and he is the striker we are certainly keeping around. And with that form, it does lead us to 11th place in the Premier League, which is an amazing season. It's also actually not an awful season. We are only 3 points off 7th place, and if you haven't realised yet, we actually haven't finished the season because we have a big game before the last game of the season. And that's in the Europa League, where we are in the final against Tottenham Hotspur, and we'll be playing that as a sort of live commed cut down video in just a second. Semi-finals wise, we beat Real San Sebastian 4-1, and in the quarterfinals we beat Lazio 4-3. Round of 16 was FC Porto, who we beat 2-0. So we have showed decent performances in the Europa League as well. And I've been floating through the 3 different tactics. I've been picking the team and the tactics every single game. We have been using this formation a fair bit, but also this one, using Amad Diallo as our right wing back. He is now a 1.5-star silver, so he is getting there with training. How many games has he played in that position now? He has played 8 games in that attacking right wing back position, 1 in the cam position, playing at a very similar level, to be honest, which is decent to see. He's doing okay, and we are getting there. It's taken some time, but as we can see from the form in the second half of this season, it has been better. Once we got to sort of February, we've been pretty damn decent. In the FA Cup, we got knocked out to Arsenal in the quarterfinals, 1-0. Frustratingly, we beat them obviously in real life in the 3rd round. Here on the game, not quite, which is annoying. But yeah, much better form recently, so I'm very happy. This is sort of how I expect the Amorim system to go. It's going to take some time. Our new signings need to come in. They need to start working, and we'll eventually get better. It's just a time game at the moment, and it's something we've sort of got to live with. Cunha has been pretty decent, a 6.81, 4 goals and 2 assists. Not an electric second half of the season for him, but he is a brand new signing coming in January. I think with Amorim and the summer transfer window, he'll be absolutely fantastic. And for Patrick Dorgu, a very similar situation. 6.87, just the 1 assist and the 1 goal, 15 games, so he has played a fair bit. His potential was quite low in this version of FM we're playing, which is a bit of a shame, but I believe in him. Only 19 years of age, he's going to be our starting left back. I'm excited to see how well he can grow. But But let's get into this game, shall we? We're in the final against Spurs. Let's see what we can do. Now, we have got quite a lot of injuries, which is a bit of a shame. We are going to risk Bruno Fernandes, even though he's in dire need of a rest. But Mainu, Dorgu, Agate, all out injured, which is a real shame. Maguire's been injured for a lot of this season. He is now back to full fitness. It has meant we managed to give Lenny Yoro a lot of games, which is good. And he's doing really, really well. But for now, in this game, we're going to use this team. Maguire, De Ligt, Martinez, Shaw, Diallo, Casemiro, Mount, Fernandes, Cunha, Højlund with Onana in goal. Let's see what Spurs line up in and see if we can get the victory here to lift our first trophy under Amorim. I think this is something very possible in real life, that we get to the final of the Europa League and they're lining up in a very decent system with Postecoglou. Let's see who wins this game. Right then, 7 minutes in and our first highlight of the game. Let's see what we can do. First of all, absolutely love that. We saw Bruno Fernandes dropping into that midfield role. Amad Diallo sitting nice and high, which is great to see. Cunha drifting in, Højlund on the last man, and Luke Shaw holding the width on that left wing position. Tactical recreation wise, we've done a very good job here of pretty much emulating exactly how we play, well, look to play in real life. I mean, that is exactly how we play in real life. De Ligt with a shocking pass there. A ball slipped straight through. Kulusevski 1-0. Yeah, exactly how we play in real life. That was literally classic Manchester United right there. Trying to do a pass into the cam, gets intercepted, defence all over the place, and we're 1-0 down. Lovely start. It looks like we've got a highlight 45 minutes into the game, so pretty much instantly a ball flicked on. Heung-min Son beats the back line and it's 2-0. Harry Maguire being a bit exposed there, spun by Son. It looks like Spurs are going to lift the Europa League and we're going to be without European football for season sort of 2, which is going to be interesting. It very well could happen in real life. It'll be interesting to see what sort of pull we have on players, etc. 2-0 down, it could get worse as well. We'll see, or it could turn around. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, what on earth is that? That is absolutely horrendous. And Casemiro's, oh, yeah, an absolutely perfect way to show this current Manchester United side. A lot will be changing this summer. This game's written off. And eventually the game finishing out at 5-0. So no European football next season. And the final game of the season, a 3-0 victory against Aston Villa. Johnny Evans, Mason Mount grabbing a brace. We finished down in 11th place, just 3 points away from 7th, which is quite frustrating. A lot of teams around us. We caught up to the likes of Villa, Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, Chelsea. Spurs done really, really well. Forest ended up doing quite well, finishing in 5th. But Liverpool win the Premier League title. And obviously no European football, which is very, very interesting to see how we can develop this team. So I suppose let's get to a point now where we can really start to analyse this team. There we are then, £79 million in transfer budget, £3.8 million per week in terms of wage budget, which means we are looking good. Diego Leon is looking to come into the club soon, which is exciting. Very good determination, very good crossing, first touch. Defensively needs work. Physicals are great. I might keep him in the first team along with Dorgu and potentially keep Luke Shaw. Now, we have got a big squad here at United. I brought up all these sort of young players as well that I think have got high potential. And we are going to just sit here now for 10 minutes and really see how this team is going to look to shape up. You're going to see how pretty much in rebuilds I go through things and pick the team to make the transfers for next season. I'm going to do it all just in a live com. As I said, different style of rebuild today, a bit more of a sit down, and I'm going to go through things a bit more of a methodical way. In goal, I do think Onana stays. Potentially, we'll look to replace, depending on finances. I think Onana is actually a pretty poor goalkeeper in terms of ball playing. Sorry, not a poor goalkeeper, but a poor ball playing goalkeeper. And FM shows that. 14 passing. I genuinely think we got a little bit misled by him. His actual pass accuracy is horrendous. We might look to change that out and maybe get like a Diego Costa or something like that in goal. So we'll keep that Onana in goal at the moment. The back three, I'm very happy with De Ligt and I am very happy with Martinez. Few people say Martinez not good enough. I think he's fantastic. I will be keeping Martinez. But this middle centre-back spot, as Harry Maguire, we are going to keep his contract and we're going to move him in as a backup. And for Lenny Yoro, I am tempted to give him the starting berth as our right centre-back. Again, I'm going to see finances-wise. For now, I'm going to leave him in there, move De Ligt to our middle, Martinez is our left. I might go for a better current centre-back, but I can see also a world where Yoro is just the guy we use. In terms of our right wing-back positions, I am unsure on what to do. We obviously have Mazraoui, who is the person that I would choose. I think we're going to sell Diogo Dalot. I might bring in someone like a Diego Leon to be a third choice and have Mazraoui this young player who's 17 and can come in and play games, and Diallo as that attacking wing-back option. I think that's a clever trio to get. I think Diallo would obviously be that third choice right-back, but financially what we can get for him will probably be around £20 million, I imagine. I mean, it's the same between 45 and 50. I'd be happy with 20 million. He's wanted by PSG. I think it's a sale we make and we use that money to go and develop the team in a different area. Board midfielder-wise, definitely Manuel Ugarte stays at the club. Mainu, I think, stays in. There's difficult conversations around Mainu at the moment. I think he just needs time to develop into this position and he'll be very, very good there. Potentially, though, I do go and sign someone and have Mainu as a rotational third choice DM. We'll see about that. Left back wise, definitely keeping Dorgu. Happy with him. Again, I think I'm going to keep Shaw and have Diego Leon as well. So that'll be interesting. Cam role. This right-sided cam is the sort of what we had as Ahmad role. I think I'm quite happy to have Bruno, Cunha, and sort of, again, Ahmad is not in the starting lineup, which is really frustrating, but we'll play like 35, 40 games just where he can play in the right wing back and right attack midfield role, and Bruno can drop in, etc. So I think that's how that looks. And up front, we're leaving it empty. I am going to bring in a brand new striker. Rasmus Højlund is going to be our backup. Yeah, I think that's where I currently stand. And then what I'm going to do is just move everyone onto the bench and go through again and just sort of see what players have got to pick up the different positions. This is, again, how I normally do the rebuilds, and it works quite well for me. I managed to build quite a strong squad very often. So in goal, backups-wise, we have Bayindir, who I think we sell. So I think Tom Heaton, and potentially, again, he's third choice centre-back, and I bring someone else in to replace Onana. We'll see about that. We're gonna see financially, because at the moment, I'm not actually looking to improve a lot of things. It's just growing the tactic and the team. So we'll see what we do there. Centre-backs wise, I think we need a couple. I don't think Johnny Evans can stay around. Well, he can be like a Tom Heaton vibe. Luke Shaw is going to be possibly this left-back there. Can also play there, so maybe a very young one. Again, like a Diego Leon on the right side of centre, when bring back, we're going to sign someone to come in there. And we need an improvement on Lindelof. So I think a fourth choice right centre-back, or someone to replace Yoro, and Yoro goes into that role, and a very young one in there. Right back wise, I'm going to put, I guess, no one there because I want to go and sign a young right back. DM wise, we're moving on from Casemiro, moving on from Eriksen. Sekou Kone potentially can come into this role. He is sort of that build, isn't he? That aggressive defensive midfield build, but maybe not quite at the standard we want him to be. And of course, Toby Collier actually played a few games last season, progressed not very well though. Just based on the stats, he just isn't going to grow to the level we want him to be, which is sad. I think, again, I go and pick out a young player to go in that role. We'll see. Maybe just a good backup, actually, like an Amrabat vibe to sit in there. And then this role, again, potentially going to get someone quite good and have Mainu as that third choice DM who can play sort of in all of them. I think that's probably more likely what I go and do. Here we're going to put Amad Diallo, but again, he's going to play lots and lots of games. And this left cam role we're going to use as Mason Mount, so he can sort of rotate in with Cunha. And up front, it is going to be, where is he? Rasmus Højlund. He is going to be the backup striker. So it's more sort of getting players in that can play the system and rotation-wise that we're looking for, which is interesting because when you look at the current United team, you think there's so much to do. But when you actually piece it out and you start looking at things, it could just be a few players to really unlock this team. What we're looking at here is a star striker and a star DM. Obviously, we've signed Cunha and Dorgu, so that'll be 4 signings coming into the United team, and it's completely changed how I see the team. And I think that's a really good way to rebuild the squad. I think we go out and get a really good young high prospect right wing back. We get a really good young high prospect centre back. We get a really good centre back to potentially replace Yoro. We sign a striker that can come in and score lots of goals. I've got my person in mind already. And I think this team is fixed. Now, financially, there is a bit of money sitting in this squad still as well. Of course, Garnacho had a very good loan spell out at Real San Sebastian. I don't know if they're going to pick up his transfer. It's going to be 77 million. I don't know if they've got that sort of money, but it was good to see that he had a good loan spell. So we can definitely get 60 plus million for him. Casemiro, I think we can probably get 30, 40 million from Saudi. Exactly that. Lindelof, 10 million. Dallo, 25-30. Xerxes, I think I do sell. He actually had a very good season. He's looking decent in real life, but I think we probably will end up moving away from him. I'm not sure. I might keep him and train him in the cam role as well. And that would potentially allow me to move Mason Mount into this DM role. That's a potential that I end up doing, and we train Xerxes to be more of a cam, but we shall see. Financially, I'm going to see how things look. I don't want to go crazy in this rebuild at all. I want to go full realism, so we'll see. Jadon Sancho, someone obviously we have forgot about, but value-wise, he's up there. Decent loan spell at Chelsea. We could see Anthony out on loan. Going to come back from Betis, or as here we got him with Dortmund. We could get 30 million for him. So there is a lot of value in this United team. Let's see what we can do. I think we can have a pretty good window here. And my choice for striker is this man, Victor Osimhen, signed from Napoli, been out on loan at Galatasaray, where he scored 32 goals in 36 games. He's smashing it in real life as well. I think this makes perfect sense. Obviously, in this FM universe, we haven't sold Garnacho to Napoli. I think if we get a good working relationship with Napoli, we can get this guy in the summer. And I think we can convince Osimhen, even without European football, just due to the size of the club. I know Man United fans say that all the time. And if you're not a Man United fan, you watch this rebuild, you're laughing because I've said that, because we're absolutely rubbish. But I think there's a chance. I think we can get Napoli to agree us with Osimhen. I think we can get Osimhen to agree to join us as well. And here we've done it for 85 million. I believe he's actually got a release clause of only 68 in real life. So that's a fantastic piece of business. Now you can see our transfer budget has gone up astronomically. We have sold Casemiro, £41 million, but we have also sold Diogo Dallo to PSG for 36, Eriksen to Palace for 8.5, and Bayindir for 16 to Arsenal. Now you could probably half all of them, and we'll end up with about £25 million for them three, and 20 million for Casemiro, £45 million raised. I don't think that's that bad. The fact I've still got to sell Garnacho, probably Malacia, Anthony and Sancho, I think we're doing very well transfer business-wise, and we can spend big bucks on a striker, and that man is Victor Osimhen. So now that Osimhen is in, the two positions that I think we are going to improve on is the right-sided centre-back and the central defensive midfielder. And while the purge of this Manchester United team is now effectively done, £211 million have been raised. Alejandro Garnacho has at the club to go and join AC Milan for £65 million. Anthony, we sold to Al Hilal for 45. Massive dub. I'll be surprised if we get 4.5 for him, to be honest. Malacias, Al Ittihad, 21. Lindelof to Napoli, 18. Xerxes back to Bayern for 17. Casemiro to Al Hilal, 41. Sancho back on loan to Borussia Dortmund. Hilariously, again, no one wanted him, so I've had to settle for a loan move, which is very frustrating, but there he goes to Borussia Dortmund. And the squad is now basically just our young talent and our first team. So it is time to now make some signings. We have got a lot of money in the bank, but again, we're going to be being clever with that. It is now time, though, to choose out of our two centre-back options, Jean-Paul Van Hecke and Ousmane Diomande. The graphs are very, very different, which is very, very interesting to me. Jean-Paul Van Hecke, much more of a defender. 1+ in defending, 3 in mental, 2 in aerial. But Diomande, better, or same technically, better going forward, but better vision, speed, and physical stats. And as that outside centre-back, I think that could be the reason we end up going with him. Pace-wise, he's better. Acceleration-wise, he's better. Natural fitness, he's better. Doesn't really matter. Better on vision, which is good. I do like Jean-Paul Van Hecke's mental stats. They are really good. And then sort of technically, we actually see a bit better from Diomande. Heading-wise, for Jean-Paul Van Hecke is better. Marking is better. Tackling is better. Okay. But on the ball, Diomande is better. I think in terms of realism, it makes more sense to go for Diomande purely with the sporting link. He works the system. He knows the system. 35, 40 million, I think, is about what we'd end up paying for him in real life, to be honest. I think this is actually a very realistic piece of business, a very decent piece of business, and one that I'd be happy with if United made in real life. 46 million, I'd be up for that. I'd be up for that for sure. And then DM-wise as well, it's time to have a little look into the DMs, because there is a lot. And at the top of this list is a player that I have no idea what he's like in real life. Nemanja Maksimovic. This is a really intriguing one for me, because I said I wanted like an Amrabat style signing, and he is exactly that. He is a ball winner, decent defensively, great work rate, good physicals, extreme consistency, likes big matches. Would be a very good 4th choice DM. Wanted at Barcelona and Real Madrid. I mean, that says a lot, to be honest. Only worth about £10 million. That's a fantastic piece of business if we want to go for that route, which is high potential. Just as that more experienced DM could make sense. If we want to go down a younger route with defensive midfielders, there is a couple down here which are interesting to me, that's for sure, if we sort this by the age. Chris Rigg is one, something from Sunderland. Would be interesting to see if we can bring him in and make him a good DM. I might bring him in anyway, to be honest. And then Tyler Dibbling, of course, is there as well. Where's the DMs I was looking at? Maximiliano Gonzalez was one. Scouting-wise, he hasn't quite turned out what I hoped he would. Beñat Turrientes, £20 million. He could be an option. Very similar, actually. If we was to have a little look at this and Maximovic, who would be better here then? Beñat Turrientes is better speed. But I like the signing of getting Maximovic in. I'm going to make that deal happen. £10 million, that's my midfielder signed in as a backup to Manuel Ugarte. Around 15 million I'd be happy with to get that done over the line. Yeah, there we go. 14.5 million. Very good piece of business there. And then for the one with Kobe, Ezequiel Palacios really interests me because he is a fantastic ball-playing defender. Defensive midfielder. He can get forward. He's got the legs to do it. Stamina, pace, fitness, acceleration is there. Consistent, light big matches. Mentally superb. Passing and tackling is also brilliant. So he works as DM. If we were to compare him to Mainu, it's going to look very heavily in Palacios' favour, which it does, but not quite to the point I thought it might do. But is actually sort of midfield tone that I would really like. He brings that defensive, if we need to go into a duel against City or Arsenal, say, we don't have to then play Mainu. We can play Mainu in the games we're going to dominate more, better going forward, better speed, better physically, same sort of vision. In fact, Palacios is a little bit better. Expensive signing at £60 million, but one that I think makes a lot of sense. A little bit injury prone, the only issue there. Edison is someone that is fantastic. Very good DM, linked with us and Liverpool. Really, really good defensively. Really good going forward. In fact, I think he completely smokes Palacios, which he does. So Edison is actually a much better fit than Palacios there, which is interesting. Humand is another signing. I think if I didn't make the signing of Diamande, this is someone I'd go for. Very good defensively, but going forward, Edison is fantastic. My God. I don't think I can look past this, actually. Edison is a brilliant midfielder to bring in. And again, price-wise, consistent. You can get him for 35. I mean, just looking at his sort of report, we're seeing consistent performer, adapts well, anticipates well, natural in couple of positions, resolute characteristics, enjoys big matches. That's two fantastic pieces of business. If we bring all of them three in, that is our two backup DMs, well, so backup and a starter, a centre-back done, and then it's time to go into the youngsters. Now, in terms of the best young right wing-backs in the world, we have got a pretty good scope on who is the best, and this guy is the best for me. I think this is a fantastic rotational third-choice right wing-back option. Eric Da Silva Moreira at Nottingham Forest. They signed him from St. Pauli a couple of years ago. He is wanted by a few clubs on loan. He's consistent, can go all the way forward, which is great. But as sort of this backup to Ahmad and this wing back on attack role, and even the complete wing back role, great going forward, great acceleration, good determination, good defensively. It would give Ahmad a night off, would give Mazraoui a night off. Simple third choice. Really like the signing for around $2.5 million. Be very happy. A little bit expensive, to be honest, but I think anywhere like this, as this third choice, is going to be a good deal. Just under $5 million, we take that. Similar to Diego Leon, really, really good signing. And for the young centre backs as well, I have done the most scouting possible, and we can't get rid of these because they're there. But there's a couple of really good options. Jorn Spillers looks like a very good defender, very well rounded. There's a couple that I liked as well. Where is he? There's he. Grady Makimbo Makobo from Club Bruges. There was another one I liked the look of. There he is. Matai Akimboni. Now, this guy really looks really good. He is a young left-foot centre-back, which I think is what we need more of because we've got Euro as the right-sided centre-back. He is American, which is quite exciting. He's played lots of games for the DC United now as well in the MLS. And I think he's a really clever signing. He's a very business signing to bring in an American centre-back before the American, World Cup goes ahead. I think it's a really cool piece of business. I think it's one that makes sense. Anywhere under £10 million, really good piece of business for him. It's looking a bit expensive, but I'm sure we can agree on something, DC. 9.5. Look, we gave you Wazza, all right? Well, sort of. There you go. Oh, mate, as if. All right, we'll get him over the line. That's going to be our 2 young signings as well. And that is all of our brand new signings done then. This is the new look Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. And I think this is good enough to now be back and challenging in the top 4. Onana in goal. Diomande, De Ligt and Martinez. Solid back 3. Dorgu and Mazraoui as our 2 wing-backs. Obviously as well, Mazraoui going to rotate out with Amad Diallo. Manuel Ugarte and Ederson as our 2 midfielders. Fantastic. Again, Ederson rotating with Mainu. Mateus Cunha, fantastic. Bruno Fernandes, fantastic. And Victor Osimhen up front. Absolutely brilliant. Massive, massive fan. Backups wise, Vitek as our backup goalkeeper. Lenny Yoro and Harry Maguire are currently our only 2 backup centre-backs because we have got Matai Akinboni coming in January. Great potential, good consistency. Hopefully we can develop him into a good player for us. And then we go into right wing back. Da Silva Moreira is there signed from Forest. Really good attacking right back, of course, though. We do also have Amad Diallo. And left back wise, we have got Dorgu, Luke Shaw, and again, of course, Diego Leon coming in about a week's time now, I believe, from Paraguay. So very, very good to have that rotation. Midfield wise, Maximovic for Ugarte. Very good young old DM with great experience in there. Very happy with that signing. And then we've got obviously Kobe Mainu for Ederson as a big rotation option, playing 30 to 40 games a season. Don't worry. Mateus Cunha comes in, rotates out with a Mason Mount, and Amad Diallo and Bruno Fernandes can swap. Very good there. And up front, Osimhen and Rasmus Højlund. That is, for me, is a top 4 squad. I don't know if I'm overreacting to it. I don't know if there's players in there which aren't as good as I maybe think, but I genuinely believe that is a good enough squad to get in the top 4. As a complete and utter squad with no European football, I'll be very, very disappointed if that doesn't happen. Ideally this season, we end up winning the FA Cup or Carabao Cup, and as I mentioned, get top 4 in the Premier League. Season preview-wise, we are actually now 4th after them signing, so very impressive how I've actually managed to get to there from being down in sort of 8th place on FM normally. So I'm very, very happy with the squad we've built. Rate my window out of 10 because I think I've done very well. I've, £50 million net negative, which is crazy the amount of money we've spent, but yeah, really, really good. I think the players are signed are realistic. I think we've done a very, very good window there, and I genuinely believe we have now fixed Manchester United. We start our season off with Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle, and Fulham. So we'll know very, very quickly by the end of August, how things have gone. And we have had a very impressive start to the season. First game up was away from home at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Bruno Fernandes finding Victor Osimhen score his first goal in a United kit just 6 minutes in. A second coming in the 68th as Patrick Dorgu gets to the left-hand side, shows his quality, setting back Ederson for a convincing 2-0 win against Chelsea. But that wasn't it. We look like we have managed to put our Old Trafford poor form behind us, as when we faced up against Newcastle, we absolutely smashed them. Bruno Fernandes finding Osimhen in the middle as the right wing back got down the line, finding Bruno yet again as he sets it back to Mazraoui to eventually whip it in for a second for Victor Osimhen, proving a fantastic signing, and a third and final goal coming from the penalty spot, and Bruno Fernandes once again. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. We did lose 2-0 to Liverpool. Luke Shaw got sent off in the 58th minute. It looked like actually a pretty good game until then. First half was very, very even. And then as soon as the send-off happened, we got absolutely dominated. So a bit of a disappointing red card, but it is what it is. Before once again, away from home against Fulham, we showed the quality we have now got. Patrick Dorgu, an unbelievable cross in. Osimhen dominating defences before this goal, showing exactly what I love to see. Right attacker mid and right wing back linking up for Amad kind of back to Mason Mount, making that on-rushing central attacker midfield run. And another goal in this game, this time for Patrick Dorgu, putting it down on that left foot and finding the bottom corner as a set piece created by Mateus Cunha. A very impressive start to the season. 4 games in, 3 victories and 1 loss. Given we played away from home against Fulham, at home against Newcastle, away from home, against Chelsea, and at home against Liverpool, I'm very, very happy. We have a very good start to the season. Very, very impressed. We also beat Harrogate in the home leg of the Carabao Cup as well in the second round. It took a 99th minute goal from Mason Mount to make it look dominating, but we did play the likes of Johnny Evans, Radek Vitek, Diego Leon, Sekou Kone got his first ever Manchester United start as well, and he is someone that I'm looking to see if we can progress a bit. I have loaned out Toby Collier, and instead Sekou Kone is my little project in midfield for this season. But overall, transfer window is done. I'm very, very happy with what we have done with this team. Very, very happy as well with the tactics we created. And we've got our main system. We have then got our second system, which is just the right attacker mid and left attacker mid. Their roles sort of reversed a little bit. And then a third system, which gets Diallo as the right wing back. So these are all available to download on Patreon, as is the start of season 2, the start of season 1, and the final rebuild file that we do here on the Patreon will all be available for £5 a month, and it helps me out massively. If you wanted to get these files in dip, £5, you get all the files, the tactics, the rebuilds, etc. And you can have a great fun with this Amorim style system. Let's now do this season though and see how impressive we really can be. Well, I'm very happy to say it wasn't just August where our form was electric. Victor Osimhen has been an unbelievable signing, scoring 2 hat-tricks in the month of September alone, scoring another 3 in October as we went unbeaten. In November, he bagged a brace against Ipswich, a hat-trick against Burnley. He has really given it to Erling Haaland. And in December, we were pretty decent as well. Losing to Arsenal, but beating City and losing to Liverpool, while also beating Aston Villa 5-0. And that form has got us back into the top 4 in the Premier League, which is fantastic. The whole point of this rebuild was for me to show how to fix Manchester United, how to get them back to challenging in European football, and we have absolutely nailed that. We've got a game in hand of the clubs behind us. We win that, we're going to be 7 points clear away from dropping out of the top 4, which is brilliant. We are level, well, we were 2 points behind Arsenal, and then Liverpool and City are level at the top on 48. Osimhen, 19 goals this season, has been absolutely fantastic. And when I look through the goals at the squad, it is pretty much all him. He has scored 19 goals and got 2 assists. He has been fantastic. Mason Mount suffering with injury a little bit at the moment, but 8 games, 11 off the bench, 5 goals, 1 assist. Bruno Fernandes also suffering with injury, sad against Manchester City, but 4 goals and 7 assists have been brilliant. Dorgu down the left, 10 goal contributions in just 20 games. Ahmad, who's doing really well, 3 goals and 4 assists, playing in both the right wing back role and the right attacker midfielder role. He is now actually decent in that right wing back role as well, which is great to see. So in the games we need someone going forward, he is a great option. Rasmus is truly the backup striker, 5 games started, 3 goals, but still developing, 21 years of age. Back up to Osimhen is absolutely perfect. He's doing really well at that job and not kicking up a fuss as well. Mazraoui, 5 assists is great to see. 6 assists for Luke Shaw, 3 assists but no goals for Mateus Cunha. Weird one. I think in real life he's the perfect signing. Not quite working out too well here, but he has also got a 7.01 average rating and is playing a lot of games. Isn't contributing on the goal scoring front, but setting us up a lot. The 3 tactics I've developed are doing really, really well as well. Obviously, the second one is just a direct flip of this one with the cams, and then the third one just gets the right cam in Bruno Fernandes, dropping slightly deeper while Diallo goes forward. And it's been working really, really well. The midfield's been doing great. Kobby struggled a little bit with quite a big injury. He done his hip at the start of November, so he's only played 7 games, sadly. But, you know, he's absolutely fine. Diamande's a great signing at right centre back. Maximovic as a backup rotation option. Looks at the star rating like he's gone down loads, but playing really well and doing really well as a rotation as well. Ederson, wherever he is now back from injury, but he was injured. He scored 2 goals in 12 games. Diego Leon is going forward quite nicely with his potential. Lots of growth in him, which is fantastic. And the same has got to be said as well for Eric da Silva Moreira, who is growing very, very fast, which is good to see. In terms of our American signing, we have brought him in. Akinbomi has now joined the club, and he looks brilliant coming in from DC United. Very happy to bring him in. He's going to be our 6th choice centre back and has grown really nicely as well. Weird to see how many games he's played in the MLS. Very surprised he's played 43 games, being just 17, but fantastic signing for us, and I'm happy to see what this guy can do as well. So halfway in the season, things are going fantastic. And the Carabao Cup as well, we are in the semi-finals playing over Chelsea or Burnley, and I'll be over Leicester or Liverpool in the final if we make it. So if we win a cup competition and come in the top 4 this season, I'll be absolutely buzzing with that. In terms of transfers, I'm not looking to make any signings this season, I don't think. I'm going to keep my ears to the ground for any loan deals potentially. There's not really anywhere in the squad that I want to bring in. I think once we get to this sort of point, it's quite hard to be realistic. I think our squad is developing really well. Our young talent is developing really well. There's not too much I want to actually change. So for anyone that does pick the same up on Patreon, you're going to have £172 million in the bank by the end of the season. So mega rich now with United as well, and fixed a lot of the issues. So I think it's safe to say we've done a fantastic job. Now this season, we really wanted to lift a trophy, so we were going for the Carabao Cup. We faced up against Chelsea and Osimhen got us off to a fantastic start, but it's this second goal which I want you guys to see. First off, building at the back, moving into Edison, we're going to see Amad Diallo drop into that cam roll, a fantastic spin and turn, and that advanced striker of Victor Osimhen using his electric pace to burst in behind and finish to make it 2-0. Now that was the first leg in this game, and we absolutely dominated Chelsea. Looking at this game, same amount of shots, but 63% possession. And looking at this down the bottom here, the graph of how the team performed, it is such a more structured approach, a clear 3-4-3 system, and I was a huge fan of what we had done. And away from home, we showed the defensive quality, shutting them out in a 0-0 draw, which sent us to the final, where we faced up against Liverpool, and despite a third-minute penalty miss from Bruno Fernandes, a lovely attacking mood found Matheus Cunha through on goal to score the one and only goal of this game as we lift the Carabao Cup in the second season here with Manchester United. Already a massive improvement. We are playing much better football. Our front three are linking up and we are scoring some nice goals. But once again, it was our fantastic form which led us to this stage at the end of the season. A nearly unbeaten February with just one loss against Bournemouth in a 2-1, including a goal against Leeds and a 1-0 victory by Danish striker Chido Obi Martin. In March, it was one loss against Arsenal, a draw against West Ham, and wins against Middlesbrough and Burnley for an unbeaten April and nearly an unbeaten May, losing on the last day of the season to Manchester City, who eventually went out as winners of the Premier League as we finish in second place. An unbelievable turnaround in just 18 months, showing if Manchester United get the signings right and we use the Amorim style of play, we genuinely can get back to the top four quite, I'm going to say easily in the Premier League, and I'd say this with a pinch of salt. Of course, I'm playing a video game and playing Football Manager, very different in real life. But what I've done is effectively what we're looking to do in real life. We've had open heart surgery, what we keep saying, everyone says around. We've sold Garnacho, Anthony, Casemiro, Malacia, Lindelof, Xerxes, Jadon Sancho's gone. We've also sold Rashford. We've sold Diogo Dalot, Altay Bayende, Ericsson. We've brought in Matheus Cunha, Patrick Dorgu, Osimhen, Edison, Diamande, Maximovic, and the youngsters of Leon Akinbomi and Moreira. We've not gone absolutely crazy, and we have just used the realistic Amorim style, and it has worked to a fantastic level. So don't give up on Amorim. We need this open heart surgery. There's been reports today as I record this that he has broken a TV, he's kicked chairs, he's lobbed tables. That's what we need. Some of these players need a bit of aggression and need a little bit of a waking up call. In goal for the second half of the season, a lot of it was Radek Vitek. He's a youngster at the academy and he played 10 games, got a 7.31, which is fantastic. Onana had a stinky injury, which wasn't good. In terms of the team's overall rating, Eric Da Silva Moreira, fantastic signing. Remember, like £3 million from Nottingham Forest. He is now worth 11, 7.4 average rating, 5 assists in 7 games. Bruno Fernandes, a 7.33 and 34 goal contributions is fantastic. Osimhen, 32 goals in 35 games, as well as 4 assists. Onana, a 7.24 in 40 games, proving me wrong and being a superstar. Patrick Dorgu, 16 goal contributions in 31 games, a 7.2 rating, and looking absolutely fantastic. Cunha, a great second half of the season. First half, no goals. This time, 9 goals, 4 assists, a 7.16. Mason Mount being a fantastic rotational player for us, playing 38 games, 7 goals and 4 assists. Diamande, unreal. Mazraoui, 10 assists, unreal. Amad Diallo is a superstar. 31 games, 3 goals, 7 assists, but a 7.03 average rating. And he is now nearly a fully competent right wing back. And given the fact we're playing him very out of position for Football Manager terms, he has done outstandingly good. And in terms of this cam role as well, he's playing brilliantly there as well. So very happy with Amad Diallo. Sekou Kone, when he's played, has been brilliant. Luke Shaw has done very well. Mainu done decent in his 28 games, got 3 assists. Edison, decent, 2 goals, 3 assists, 6.95. Agate, 6.93. Lenny Yoro, a little bit of a disappointing season for him, a 6.83 in 16 games. One of the sort of worst players this season. And the same goes for Rasmus Højlund, coming in as the backup, obviously having Osimhen take his spot. May have knocked his confidence a tad, but he's a fantastic backup striker. 7 goals in 14 games. I think it's safe to say the title of this rebuild is how to fix Manchester United. and we've done it in 18 months. This is where I'm going to finish the rebuild here, and you guys on Patreon can fix this up. I'm going to play this save myself for some fun on the side because I'm a huge Man United fan and I really enjoy doing that. If you guys have enjoyed the video and you enjoyed this style of me showing a bit more of the behind the scenes and a bit of obviously like a 1.5 season rebuild, showing that how I sign players, how I set the squad up, more in depth on the team and highlights, etc. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button. I really enjoyed doing it and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.